Welcome to your lesson all about strumming, aka rhythm. I'm going to show you and teach you 3 commonly used strum patterns. Now, we are going to be thinking all about our right hand or our strumming hand, nothing about our left or fretting hand at the moment, because this is not about pitch. This is not about the sound of a chord. This is about how we decorate the chord with our strumming hand. Before we dive in, I'd like to spend a moment to talk to you about quarter notes and eighth notes. What on earth are they? Well, actually, they are not as serious or as formal or possibly classical as they sound. They are simply how we divide rhythms within a bar. Now, for this example, we are going to say that there are 4 beats in a bar, which is fairly normal and fairly common. If we were to clap in quarter notes, we'd clap once on each beat of that bar, evenly spaced. So if your tempo is like this, you clap on each of those beats like I'm doing now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's very useful to say the numbers out loud, especially for now. When you're playing, you may have them in your mind. For now, out loud is great. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have clapped on quarter notes or quarter beats. Let's dive into a further division, eighth notes. If we were to clap in eighth notes, we would again clap on those 4 beats of the bar. 3, 4, but we'd also clap in between each of those existing claps. The in-between ones are the and symbols. And. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is clapping in eighth notes. The bar length, you'll notice, was still the same. I still started at the same point and ended at the same point. Doesn't end later. It's just making sure that we tuck those extra claps in between those main beats. Another way of thinking about it is that every number you see there is an on beat and every and you see there is an off beat. So it's on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We only go between and within those divisions in these strum patterns that I'm going to teach you. So we only use quarter notes or eighth notes. Now, one thing to remember is when we strum on a quarter note, we are going to strum down. When we strum on an eighth note, we're going to strum up. Now, just remembering that with our up strums, we don't have to strum all 6 strings. We covered that in an earlier lesson. Okay, so any numbered beat you see, which is a quarter note, we strum down. And any eighth note that we see, which is an and, we strum up. Here we go. We have strum patterns 1, 2, and 3. Now, strum pattern 1, we have already looked at in terms of the rhythm, but we have not looked at it with the strumming. So we are simply going to strum on each quarter note within that bar. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can count out loud or count in your mind. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Not only do we want to keep the strums even in terms of timing and rhythm, so evenly spaced, but actually we would like to try now to keep the strums dynamically even in terms of velocity. So essentially how loud or soft we are playing those strums. It doesn't matter if they're loud or they're soft, but as long as they are even. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's move on to strum pattern 2 because we may spend a little more time on this one and the third strum pattern as well. Strum pattern 2 introduces an up strum. Now, remembering that it's not an up strum that prolongs the bar and makes the bar longer, which is sometimes what beginners do. They place the up strum on the 4th beat and then place the 4th beat's strum on the 5th beat, but the 5th beat doesn't exist. So it's ensuring that we tuck that up strum in between the third and the fourth beats. I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to count myself in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It just jumps in. If you have a down strum next to an up strum or a beat next to an and, that means that they are going to be played closer together because they are, of course, eighth notes. All right, let's move on to strum pattern 3, a very commonly used strum pattern, which has a little bit more detail in it, but that's probably why it sounds so good. 1, 2, and 4, and. There's a big gap in the middle. This is normally the part which trips beginners up, because there's a big space where there's no third beat. So we have nothing to ground us on that third beat. Not to mention that we have 2 up strums next to each other on the and of the 2, and then the other rogue and just before the fourth beat, which is in fact the and of the 3. I'm going to play this to you before I explain it any further. So I'll count in by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll play the strum pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So we start strong, beats 1, beats 2, then we jump into the and of the 2, let it hang. We then repeat an up strum. Having those 2 up strums next to each other is tricky. Up, down, up. What I have found over the years to be extremely useful in this strum pattern is to split it in half. Take the 1, 2, and just play that round and round like this. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. And then do the same with the second half of the strum pattern. Up, down, up, and 4, and. It's to ensure that both halves of the strum pattern feel very natural to us, for us to actually play. That's so when we're thinking about timing and we're playing it in real time, we have less to think about because we go, okay, right, it's the bit where it's up, down, up. And then we start by strumming up and then it just sort of happens because we're used to that specific movement. Okay, so the whole thing together, if I count myself in, counting to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was, of course, me playing it round 4 times. For your practice task this week, I'd like you to do 3 things. First of all, I'd like you to practice all 3 strum patterns on their own. Then I would like you to practice all 3 strum patterns at 45 BPM using your metronome. And then I would like you to practice all 3 strum patterns at 60 BPM using your metronome. I'm going to demonstrate those 2 BPMs now for you. So 45 BPM, 1, 2, count yourself in, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's interesting, when you play strum pattern 3, you hear a click when you're not strumming, and that's the only time. That's on that third beat that is missing. Down, down, up, click. up, down, up. So I actually think that practicing with a metronome helps within Strum Patterns 3. Let's have a look at 60 BPM then. That was 45. 60 BPM, here we go. All three strum patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Okay, good luck. I hope you have a lot of success putting those three strum patterns together, and I really look forward to seeing you at the next lesson.